welcome to the Midweek News on AAU TV, your trusted voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Jimai Madaladem Duche.
And my name is Ajaman Otredako.
In this week's headlines on higher education, social media addiction takes toll on academic performance. And in health, physical activity crucial for post-stroke recovery, study reveals.
In our Discovery News, world's tallest hemp hotel set to open in June in South Africa. In our sports news, Kenyan's Eliud Kipchoge wins Spain's 2023 Asturias Award for sports. Please stay with us for more news in detail after this short break. We'll be right back.
Despite being compelled to adopt digitalization and ICT 3 years ago due to COVID-19 pandemic, universities in Africa continue to struggle with challenges in fully implementing these technologies to fulfill their core functions.
The universities are unable to fully deploy and take advantage of digitization and ICT to do teaching, research, and even extension, mainly due to a lack of both the capacity and the skill they need to use the technologies effectively. Kenya's Moi University Vice Chancellor, Professor Isaac Koski, said the institutions need all the support they can get from all partners and actors, both local and foreign, to help them leverage technology and catch up with the general trend of doing things remotely. He also noted that the COVID-19 pandemic had unprecedented effects on our African universities. In nearly all African countries, universities were closed for several months, thus presenting difficulties to the core responsibilities of universities in teaching, research, and extension. An important learning point has been the emergence of digitalization and the use of ICT in supporting teaching, research, and even extension. This called for different international initiatives that could help universities more in enhancing their use of digital skills in teaching and learning, he said at an event to launch the European Union-founded Internationalization and Digitalization of Graduate Training and Research for the Attainment of African Regional and Global Development Goals, DigiGrad project, in Eldoret, Kenya, on 11th May. The DigiGrad project was therefore important as it brought about internationalization and digitization of postgraduate training, which have been critical in our universities. As with many universities in Africa, Moi University had benefited from internationalization projects, including collaboration and partnerships through development of new infrastructure, human resource, and research capabilities, he further noted. The Vice-Chancellor also added that the opportunities of internationalization and digitization for enhanced quality of postgraduate training, DigiGrad initiative will seek to address some of the key challenges that our African universities face today.
Moving on, a recent study reveals that students are spending excessive amounts of time on social media, which is having detrimental effects on their academic performance and mental well-being.
Research shows that African students spend too much time on social media. This does not only negatively affect their studies, but also their mental health. The addiction seems to be rising and increasing the risk of depression and anxiety. Some of the popular social media platforms in Africa include Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Discord, Snapchat, WeChat, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube. In this regard, Researchers are worried that many university students in sub-Saharan Africa and beyond are spending too much time hooked to these networks, even when they are supposed to be reading in the libraries or attending in-person lectures. Highlighting the issue among Ethiopian university students, Amando, a lecturer in psychiatry at the University of Metu, found that most students are addicted to social media platforms, especially Facebook, which is used by about 96% of students. In the study on Facebook addiction that sampled 422 undergraduate students at the University of Metu, Dow and his associates found that 67.2% of students were addicted to Facebook. The study, Social Media Use and Academic Performance of Undergraduate Students in South African Higher Institutions, the case of the University of Zululand, indicated that students were spending more time on WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram than on Wikipedia. What is emerging is that a large number of university students in Africa are increasingly using social media platforms for enjoyment and partly to escape from everyday worries. But in doing so, it appears that students lose their sense of time as they get engrossed in those sites to the extent that nothing else matters to them, even their studies. In this context, the allure of social media platforms, especially their capacity to create curiosity and the desire to keep someone immersed in activities, is not only driving many university students to lower psychological well-being, but also causing them to underperform academically.
That's an interesting one on social media.
Very interesting story.
Academic performance.
Yeah.
But you know something, I believe that, first of all, I would say that social media has its own positive and negative effects.
Sure.
I think it is how you use it and how, the individual use it. Looking at, there is a study here that was done in 2021. It talks about Global Overview Report, where they said that 44.1% of the African population uses social media account. And with this report, it talks about using social media, for the good and the bad, for communication, for networking, for entertainment, and sharing content, and the others. But looking at the research done last, conclusion that a lot of students are spending a lot of time on social media, and in other words, it is affecting their academic performance, and also with health-wise, it's causing anxiety, depression, and among others among students. But I would want us to discuss the excessive use of social media and how it is affecting students' academic performance.
This is a much truncated statement with regards to how social media can be used excessively within an academic context. Because on the other hand, it has got features that also enhance education. I feel that the study that was conducted, collated together, having similar findings, actually should have gone a little bit further. Because excessive use of social media may have its purpose to generate income for these students, or to also eradicate or alleviate boredom or anxiety.
But boredom, Ajman, I'm not trying to cut you, but then when you say boredom, the study, or let me say, according to the research that is coming out, make performance. So I don't think if they were using social media at the right time, at the right places, it was going to cause such.
I can also give you studies that were also conducted. A study by Mohammed Azin Ashraf et al. And the title was Social Media's Improvement on Students' Academic Performance. Exploring the role of social media adoption in the open learning environments amongst international medical students in China. In China, where technology is much more advanced than in Africa, their research was looking at how social media was able to impact or improve performance academically. Whereby in Africa, we are looking at how social media is affecting performance academically.
It's not like we are looking at, it's actually a search or a report that is out.
Our students in China, are they different from African students?
Wait, Ajman, I think that, you see, in as much as social media has its own positive and negative impact, it depends on how you use it. Because if you are spending so much time, now social media as its whole is, people are making money, people are learning, people are doing a lot,
Yes.
bringing out their own talents and then all that.
Yes.
It depends on what you are doing.
Absolutely.
There. I see that the balance with academics and then social media usage is what African students are not seeing too.
Good. So this is where I ask myself, what is the end game of these studies or that study? You've publishing findings that students have been using social media excessively and therefore taking a toll on their academics. So what?
No,
allow me to ask, so what?
You take your phone and
Yeah.
search through this. We want to find out this and that and that. But you see students take their phones and then they go.
And do other things,
I
yes.
mean, you
So-
can't control it.
Yes.
Seriously, you really can't control
Good.
it.
You see, you can't control what somebody does with their phones.
Exactly.
Then what's the studies?
No, so that means when you tell us that we should look at ways to incorporate social media,
Yeah.
how are you?
So
How are you doing that?
if in 10 we cannot turn social media into a good tool to enhance academic performance, then you bring these results out here.
But how
Still
are
has
we
no
going to do
importance.
that?
Good.
Because if
China
it is
did
social
it.
media,
China did it.
how
Yes.
did they do that?
Good. So they said that in China they were able to implement the features of social media into their studies, and for so doing, they bridged the new age of the learning gap and made social media a learning extension for what they do in classrooms. So if you go to Snapchat, there's an assignment for you there. Facebook, it's an assignment there. Instagram, assignment there.
So you think Africa, we can do this?
Why can't we do it?
How?
Why do we think that we are so lagged behind that we can't catch up?
You know, I'm not trying to cut you, but the research I read about Digital 2021 on the global overview, it's a global, I mean, it's an African globe sample.
Yes.
And it says that 44.1% of the African population, they are on social media.
Yes.
And that is 520 million
Good.
users.
Yes.
So the more the population, I don't know, the more population.
In fact, it
the
is
population
good news.
carrying-
It is good news that we have lots of internet users in our continent.
But what they are using the internet
Good.
is now the problem.
If you are not able then to turn it around to their gain, then you are better off not publishing this result, because you telling us that they are doing more social media and it's not helping them to grow, you are not being effective.
But it's actually becoming a problem.
Actually, then turn into solution right now. That's the problem. We are lagging behind in our continent. We don't want to be strategic. We don't want to think far. We don't want to turn things round and make it a benefit. We would like to stay in our old zone, in our comfort zone, and remain in where we are. No review, no upgrade, no advancement.
Admiral, you know, we'll continue this discussion later.
Maybe.
Health news is up next.
In our health story, according to a recent study, physical activity has been proven to be a pivotal factor towards stroke recovery. Individuals who engage in 4 hours of exercise per week after experiencing a stroke demonstrate superior functional recovery.
After a stroke, physical activity can be pivotal to successful recovery. In a study now published in the scientific journal JAMA Network, open is based on data concerning 1,500 stroke patients in 35 Swedish hospitals. The participants were grouped according to their post-stroke patterns of physical activity. The result shows that increased or maintained physical activity with 4 hours exercise weekly doubled the patient's chances of recovering well by 6 months after a stroke. Men and people with normal cognition kept up an active life relatively more often, with better recovery as a result. Donny Povab, a researcher in clinical neuroscience at Sahlgrenska Academy, University of Gothenburg, said Physical activity reprograms both the brain and the body favorably after a stroke, and exercise improves the body's recovery at the cellular level, boosts muscle strength and well-being, and reduces the risk of falls, depression, and cardiovascular diseases. Regardless of how severe the stroke has been, those affected can derive benefits from exercise and more. According to the research, being physically active is hugely important, especially after a stroke. Women and people with impaired cognition seem to become less active after stroke. The study results indicate that these groups need more support to get going with physical activity.
Stick with us for Discovery News after this short break. Right back.
I'm inviting universities in Africa to the Conference of Rectors, Vice Chancellors, and Presidents of African Universities that is coming up in Windhoek, Namibia, between July 4th to 7th, 2023. The theme of this CoreVIP is promoting excellence in African higher education. I am appealing to Vice Chancellors to ensure that they are registered for this conference and also ensure that they come to this conference with their Deputy Vice Chancellors and their registrars as well as deans of their various colleges. Let us come together to promote excellence in African higher education. Thank you.
In a Discovery News, in South Africa, a remarkable architectural marvel is set to open its doors soon, standing tall at 12 stories and boasting of stunning view of Cape Town's iconic Table Mountain. The world's tallest building constructed with industrial hemp is nearing completion.
With 12 stories and a breathtaking view of Cape Town's imposing Table Mountain and a minimal ecological footprint, the world's tallest building made with industrial hemp is soon to open its doors in South Africa. Workers in Central South Cape are putting the finishing touches on the 54-room hemp hotel, which is due to be completed in June. Used notably in Europe for thermal renovation of existing buildings, the blocks are carbon negative, meaning their production sucks more planet's warming gases out of the atmosphere than puts in it. The industrial hemp used for the hemp hotel had to be imported from Britain as South Africa banned local production last year when the government started issuing cultivation permits. President Cyril Ramaphosa has made developing the country's hemp and cannabis sector annex jobs. Afrimat Hemp is now preparing to produce its first blocks made only with South African hemp. Hemp hotel architect Wolf 52 sees this as a game changer to make hemp buildings more widespread in this corner of the world. It shouldn't be just a high-end product, says Wolf, whose firm is involved in several social housing projects in South Africa and neighboring Mozambique. Hemp is 20% more expensive to build with compared to conventional materials, says Afrimat Hemp's carbon consultant Wihan Becker. But as the world races to lower carbon emissions, the firm sees huge opportunities for its green bricks, says Becker. Carbon credits, permits normally related to the planting of trees to safeguard tropical rainforests that companies buy to offset their emissions, could help make hempcrate blocks more financially palatable, he added. According to Afrimat Hemp, the carbon footprint of a 40 square meter house built with hemp is 3 tons of carbon dioxide lower than that of a conventional building. Hemp Hotel has been ranked the tallest building in corporate hemp-based materials in the world by Steve Allen, director of the Ireland-based International Hemp Building Association.
And that's it for Discovery News. We'll be back with news on entertainment and sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Sports and Entertainment segment. My name is Mamikoto Akwanyame, and in our sports news, Eliud Kipchoge, renowned for his remarkable achievement in long-distance running, has been recognized with a Team Princess of Austria's award. The Spanish Foundation's panel of judges declared Kipchoge a true legend in world athletics and hailed him as the greatest marathon runner of all time.
Eliud Kipchoge, 38, who took Olympic gold medals in the marathon in 2016 and 2020 and was world 5,000 meters champion in 2003, is considered a legend in world athletics and the best marathon runner of all time. The foundation highlighted that he is known as a philosopher for his strategy and concentration in running. Kipchoge has won in 10 editions of 4 of the major marathons, including London and Berlin 4 times each. He is the current Olympic marathon champion and holds the world's record for the discipline with a time of 2 hours, 1 minute, 9 seconds set in Berlin last year. In a statement from Kipchoge, he said it was an absolute honor to receive the award and that he's motivated to leave a legacy in this world through running, since the running world is a more peaceful world, a happier world, and a healthier world. Kipchoge is the only athlete in history who has run a marathon in less than 2 hours, although the timing is 1 hour 59 minutes and 40 seconds, set in Vienna in 2019, isn't recognized officially as the race was organized. The 50,000 Euro award is one of the 8 prizes awarded for outstanding work in areas such as art, communication, scientific research, and literature. They are handed out annually by the foundation. The prizes are among the most important in the Spanish-speaking world. The award ceremony is held each fall in the northern Spanish city of Oviedo.
Now in entertainment, the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards, an annual celebration of excellence in film and television, commenced its 9th edition with a vibrant Cultural Day celebration. This year's event marked the 2nd year of the movie industry's activities leading up to the main award show. This, which is renowned for its fusion of glamour and high fashion.
In its 2nd year of marking a series of industry activities to herald the main award show, that is Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award, that recognizes excellence in film and television, kicked off on a fairy note with a Cultural Day celebration. The organizers went all out in its showcase of the diverse cultures of Africa. Right from the entrance, guests were treated to an assortment of cultural offerings. Paired with an assortment of food and drinks, guests were thrilled with all the side attractions before the start of the show. Opening with a dance troupe mirroring the fierce spirit of South African Zulu warriors, they set the tone for the rest of the night's presentations. From the Yoruba dance group backed by multiple talking drums to the sensual sways of the TIFF dancers guest eyeballs were glued to. But while the various dance groups served as great entertainment, it was the cultural attire everyone anticipated. Nancy Isime and Daniel Etim Efyong, who served as hosts, came dressed in remarkable pieces. With threads to her hair, Isime wore a signature Fulani Madukari, while Efyong rocked a multicolored agbada. As the event progressed to its climax, the audience fed their eyes to the elaborate costumes of many celebrities who stormed the red carpet. And just like the previous edition, the sequel show leaves no stone unturned. Rather, it reinforced its boldness in showcasing Africa's rich colors and textures through fashion, food, and dance.
Business and international news is up next.
For a job in higher education institution on the African continent, there is no need to go looking. The Africa Education Jobs Board will deliver available jobs to you via our platform. To start your search, visit our website. On our website, you will find variety of job postings classified by the sectors and professions they belong to. There are sections devoted to variety of career-related materials, as well as information on African countries. All information you require, based on the job description and requirements, are accessible on the site. If you are looking for a job in higher education on the continent, use our dedicated portal www.africa.edujobs.com. For job market updates, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AF Jobs Board.
And in our business news, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, on Wednesday approved a $3 billion loan for Ghana, a West African country in the midst of a severe economic crisis, with the first immediate disbursement of about $600 million.
According to an IMF statement, and debt sustainability, as well as implement broad-based reforms to build resilience and lay the groundwork for stronger and more inclusive growth. In a statement made by IMF Fund Manager Kristalina Georgieva, fiscal consolidation is a key component of the program, as is maintaining financial sector stability on inflation control and the rebuilding of foreign exchange reserves. Finally, Kristalina Georgieva stated that an ambitious program of structural reforms is being implemented to revitalize private sector-led growth by improving the business environment, governance, and productivity. The IMF stated on Friday that Ghana has offered adequate guarantees to benefit from an aid plan, praising its creditor countries led by France and China for their recent agreement to begin debt restructuring negotiations. Weakened by the consequences of the Ukraine war, Ghana opted to approach the IMF and in December secured a preliminary agreement with the institution to collect $3 billion in loans over 3 years, contingent on the completion of economic reforms. Ghana, a major cocoa and gold producer, also has gas and oil reserves, but its debt burden has exploded, as it has in other sub-Saharan African countries as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak and the Ukrainian crisis. This crisis, the greatest in decades, has compelled President Nana Akufo-Addo to flip previous positions, turning to the IMF to avert the threat of default posed by certain experts.
That is all for business news. International news is next.
Two kidnapped staff members of the police, and this development comes just a day after the tragic attack in which 7 individuals traveling in the same convoy lost their lives.
The attack occurred on Tuesday in Ogbaru's southeastern region, which has been under curfew for the past year due to safety concerns. According to a local official, the intruders shot at the vehicles and set them on fire, burning the deceased beyond recognition. According to the official, it is unknown who the gunmen were. Some officials blame Igbo separatists from the Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB group, which is known to operate in this region. IPOB has yet to respond to the charges. President Muhammadu Buhari, who is leaving office later this month after promising and failing to end Nigeria's security problem, says his administration is dedicated to finding the perpetrators of Tuesday's attack.
For staying with us on AAU TV Mid-Week News, we'll take a good look at our headlines.
In higher education, social media addiction takes toll on academic performance. And in health, physical activity crucial for post-stroke recovery, study reveals.
In our Discovery Story, world's tallest hemp hotel set to open in June in South Africa. In our sports story, Kenya's Eliud Kipchoge wins Spain's 2023 Astros Award for sport.
So, Ajuman, tomorrow is 25th of May,
yes,
I believe, and it's the African Union Day.
Sure.
I believe AAU as a whole will do something to commemorate the day. What